Greetings. In this part of our discussion, we are discussing the promise from the Lord to the Israeli nation, Israeli Jews. And we said that this promise has two parts. There is a good, wonderful part, and there is a bad, miserable part to the promise, a threat, if you will. We are still discussing the wonderful part, based on a condition stated in Deuteronomy the 28th verse 1 that says, if you fully obey and carefully follow every command of the Lord, obey and do every command of the Lord, then you will be, shed with endless blessings. And we mentioned many of them in the last video. Let us continue the wonderful part of the promise based on a condition that they have to obey first and follow all the commands of the Lord. Let's go to verse 20, chapter 28, Deuteronomy 28, verse 7. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of this bounty, to send rain on your land in seasons and to bless all the work of your hands. You will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. So, first of all, rain will never stop. Meaning, green land always. Green land, luscious, green. A huge amount of produce. The best there is. And the fruits of Palestine are so wonderful. So tasty, so wonderful. Even different from many countries in the world. Believe me. So the Lord will send endless rain to keep, the growing of the produce and the vegetables and the fruits and the harvest is plentiful. And then the Lord said that they will be so rich, you will lend to many nations. Many nations will come and borrow from you. But you will borrow from no one. You will never borrow from anyone. And today, we all know that the Israelis, the state of Israel, is taking billions and zillions of dollars help from the US. The US is donating zillions of dollars from the US. Nobody is borrowing from those miserable, from those rotten state of Israel. Nobody is borrowing. But it's, most of the money they have, they are borrowing, or not borrowing, they are taking from the American taxes. From our taxes. So this never happened because they did not fulfill the condition at the beginning of chapter 28. They did not obey. Okay, verse 13 says, the Lord will make you the head. Will make you the head. Not the tail. But history says and tells us, for the last 2,000 years, Israelis were always the tail. Even today, even if they control the Senate and the House, but they are the tail of the US. Tools, if you will, subdued to the wish and the will of the US. They are the tail. They were always the tail and still are today. And this will continue as long as they live, but not for too long anyway. 6 years, remember? If you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you this day and carefully follow them, you will always be at the top. But history says they will always have been lower than the bottom, below the earth, miserable worms. Even today, with all the help the US give them, all the military arsenal, that they are destroying the lives of the Palestinians for the last 70 years, still they are not on top. Even Gaza Strip shoots missiles against Tel Aviv, the capital. And they can reach now with their missiles everywhere. Not to mention Hezbollah. That's a different story. So they never have been on top. But the promise says you will always be at the top, never at the bottom. But history says they were never at the top, always at the bottom. Because they did not fulfill the condition at the beginning. The Lord said, obey, carefully follow the commands. Verse 14 says, do not turn aside from any of the commands I give you today, to the right or to the left, following other gods and serving them. And history tells us, once they entered Palestine, that's the only thing they did. Worshipping idols. Abandoning God completely. The opposite, the exact opposite of the warning. Again, quickly, all those blessings are if under the condition to obey, carefully follow the commands, all the commands, and never slide to one side or another, right or left. Stay straight on the Lord's path. They never did. Let's continue this next time. Take care.